And we are setting up for live, nearly live. There we are. Okay. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Friday. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. And it feels like we're almost out of 2020, doesn't it? It feels like it's like December 92nd of 2020, but we're getting through it. We're almost done. I am so, Bud's like, yes, please. I am so happy that Bud Coleman is joining us. Dr. Coleman is the head of the undergraduate musical theater program at CU Boulder, and it has so much exciting things coming out of it right now. And there's so much to ask about, but Dr. Coleman, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself and telling us, you mentioned before we went live that you're from Texas. How did you get to Boulder and what brought you there?
How did I get here, Drew? Exactly. So I'll make this really quick. I did grow up in Texas. I started my life as an architecture major and learned very quickly that that was the wrong fit for me. So I did graduate with a BFA in theater with pretty much a minor in dance. And I actually took the plunge and moved immediately to New York City. I probably should not have. I did not know what I was doing, but there you go. I was very fortunate. I got a professional job with Le Ballet Trocadero de Monte Carlo. It's an all-male dance company that does spoofs of classical ballet and modern dance. So even though it's a dance company, it very heavily relies on the acting skill of the performers because you have to be a character. And everybody has to basically be a female character and a male character. So yes, I am Natasha Not Good Enough, a retired ballerina, coming to you live. So after New York, I did some other things. I got a master's degree in directing at University of Utah, moved back to New York. I had a dance injury. I tore my hamstring. And so in looking for now what, I actually was able to get work as a dresser for Broadway shows. So the people who changed the costumes. And this actually was very fortuitous. This is what I call my second MFA. I learned so much watching other directors like Michael Bennett, like Trevor Nunn, take a show and go through all those painful decisions of, it's 4 hours long. What do we cut? How do we fix this? How do we create the storytelling? So it was really, I'm not happy I tore my hamstring, but I'm really glad I had this learning experience. So, because my ultimate goal all along was to be a director choreographer. So then I got the job in Boulder and here I am.
Wow. Now you have a PhD attached to your name too. Where'd you get that?
I went to the University of Texas at Austin.
Oh, cool, cool. Oh, man, Austin, I can't say enough about students, you know, because most of my students are not from the South. And I'm sort of lumping Texas in with the South, but like, you know, they might be from Portland or Los Angeles or New Jersey. And, you know, and naturally, if I have kids who are maybe LGBTQ or a little nervous about the South, I tell them Austin is the coolest. It is just so much fun.
Austin is a fantastic city and it's a great school.
So there are, just so we're clear with our parents here, there are two, I believe, musical theater programs at CU Boulder. So there is one that is a BM, I believe, in music for musical theater. And then there's a musical theater program within the Department of Theater, which is what you are in charge of. Can you tell me a little bit about the curriculum for the MT program?
Sure. So I know this is a little odd. We're one of the few schools that have two parallel tracks of musical theater, but what the logic is that the BM, which is housed in the College of Music, that musical theater track obviously has more emphasis on music. So what does that mean? Well, there's a second year of theory and oral skills. There is Italian and French and German diction. There's more keyboard. So if the student's interest really is not sort of 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, if it's much more heavy music, then the BM is the way to go. The good news is that both sets of students take the same spine of courses on musical theater labs. So the sort of heartbeat of the program between the BM and the BFA is actually identical. All of those students are in the same ensemble lab sequence and become that cohort, that ensemble, and track all the way through their 4 years. So, and once the student is in either program, they can petition to switch programs. So if they start in BM, they're not locked into the BM. If they start in BFA, they're not locked into the BFA. So in consultation with the faculty, they can petition for a switch if they feel like it's going to be a better fit for them.
Wow. And I got to say, CU Boulder and NYU are about the two biggest programs that have dual musical theater programs for undergraduates. So y'all, if you are interested in sort of keeping your foot on the gas pedal in terms of, I want to take more music, less music, I want to do this kind of work. I love NYU, but Boulder is great training and a heck of a lot cheaper, especially if you're in the Western United States. The opportunities here are great.
Yeah.
So talking about the curriculum, let's say that I come in, I'll use myself as an example. I am like, actor, singer, dig a mile into the earth, dancer. They don't hire me because I move well.
We'll still take you.
What is the acting component within the musical theater program? Am I able to take scene study and acting technique and all that?
Absolutely. So that is, once again, that's our spine, that's our heartbeat of the musical theater labs. So those are in terms of script analysis, whether it's a musical or a non-musical play, monologue work, obviously sound work as well. So yes, absolutely. We're going to be working on those acting chops and integrating it into your musical theater work. So they're not separate.
Within the BFA, is there also private voice offered for students?
Absolutely. And the BFA students are housed in the College of Arts and Sciences, but they are taking voice lessons with College of Music faculty. So they're not getting watered down.
Great.
Instruction. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. And then as far as dance, I presume it's a combination of jazz, ballet, MT, and some tap?
Exactly. And we don't specify what, especially the entry-level dance that the student takes. We want them to come in with hopefully their comfort zone. So if it's hip hop, if it's jazz, if it's ballet, if it's improv, we have African dance. And so you can elect what your sort of sweet spot is in order to start your dance training. And then obviously once you've found your groove, then we want you to experiment with some other styles as well.
Oh, yeah, that's really good to hear. I like that sort of individualistic approach to a student being welcome there. I know that sometimes I have students who are like, I've never taken a day of tap in my life, or I have hoofers who are like, I don't know what ballet is, but they're gifted actors and vocalists. It's nice that they have a place to land. That's great. So can we talk about performing opportunities, and especially for freshmen? That is a big concern for freshmen who are like, I don't just want to spend my whole first year just working crew. Right. I also want to perform as well.
Absolutely. And our auditions are open to any CU student, and especially for first years. So we do not sequester our first years away from performing. And we have auditions typically the weekend before classes start. So you don't even wait until classes start to get on the boards and start auditioning.
Right. So it's not a case where the auditions happen spring semester for the fall show.
No. Now, the one great thing, or one of the great things is because the students are basically in both worlds, College of Music and College of Arts and Sciences, they are eligible to try out for productions produced by the College of Music and by Theater and Dance. So this really opens up their worlds. Sometimes College of Music will audition for their fall production in the spring. theater and dance, we always audition our fall productions in the fall. So
Okay.
some of the calendars are not quite in sync, but
Okay.
for the most part.
Now, you mentioned just a second ago that all students at the university can audition for the shows. So if I'm a student who is watching this and I like it, but I also want a double major, I want a BA in theater, I can still get my reps on the boards.
Yes. So this is a little secret, and if you say Bud said it, I'll deny it.
Hear that, internet? It never happened.
If you're interested in especially getting that musical theater training, but you don't have the time to make the time commitment for a Bachelor of Fine Arts because that's 60 credit hours. That's a lot of work. You can start, if you're accepted, you can start in the BFA musical theater program, then tack on your other major. And then along the way, if you go, wow, I just can't see completing both these degrees, you're not obligated to complete those. But it gives you access to those classes that you wouldn't have otherwise if you hadn't been accepted in the program. So there's sort of ways to be smart about gaming the system. So it's a little hack. If you say I told you, I'll deny it.
Oh man, I just missed the last 30 seconds of what you said. I'm so mad. That is so cool. You know, it is always, it never ceases to amaze me how many hardcore, very talented theater students are so passionate about a second major. And I love it. And I also love that there's a change that has been happening in the last few years away from if theater's what you want to do, it's the only thing that you can do, blah, 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 blah. I like that universities are coming around to like, you also want to be an engineer who does musical theater? How cool is that? You know, I think it's great.
Yeah, one of our alums is Gavin Lodge. He actually ended up graduating with international affairs as his major. He's done 5 Broadway shows. You know, does the casting agent of Priscilla care what his major is? No, absolutely not. They just care, do you have talent? Are you the type we're looking for?
Yeah. So there is a little thing that happens on the campus called the Colorado Shakespeare Festival. Can you can you talk about what that festival is like, and then what is the involvement or the opportunities for involvement for students?
Sure. Yeah, the Colorado Shakespeare Festival is the second oldest, largest continuing producing Shakespeare festival in the country. And it is pretty big. It's about 150 artists of all stripes who come around from all over the country. We are typically guaranteed 5 slots for students. Typically, these are understudy positions, but once again, depending on the director, they may look at that student and go, I want them for this role or whatever. And at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival, they have 2 venues. One is outdoors, it's 1,000 seats. The other is indoors, 400-seat proscenium house. Because it is live outdoor theater, 1,000 seats, there has been occasion where a professional actor has lost their voice, it won't project. And so for CSF, understudies are not oh yeah, you're an understudy. No, it's real. It's just like a professional contract. You have weekly rehearsals, and it has happened that CU students have had to go on in a leading role if someone was sick. So, and obviously it's a great opportunity to meet professional actors, directors from around the country. So it's a great networking opportunity.
And how long does it run?
So the season runs, let me just get this, the performances run 18th of June to the 15th of August, and they run in rep. So it's also a repertory schedule.
Wow. So I'm sort of thinking ahead to when I ask you about tuition and financial aid here. If I'm a student and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stick around for the festival. I want to do this festival and I'm gonna do it 2 years in a row. All of a sudden, I now have residency in Colorado because I'm not leaving. I have school and I have work here, and now my tuition can go down. Is that correct?
It is. Colorado, thank goodness, is a place where students can get residency while they're a student. Now, obviously, you have to go through some hoops. You need to, if you have a car, you need to get a Colorado license. You have to all those hoops. But if you are thinking strategically, it can be a real game changer in terms of tuition.
No kidding. So with the festival, do students get some kind of stipend? Are equity points offered, or are there different rules for students?
There are no equity points. We're not set up for that, but there is a stipend.
Okay, cool. So it's not like a house that offers points, but does the festival offer like guest artist contracts to?
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. It is I don't remember their exact LORT designation right now, but there are definitely equity actors, equity stage managers. Yeah.
So this is what something I talk about all the time with students is um, getting to work side by side with professional actors is such an absolute game changer. That by the time you get to New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, the professional world is old hat to you. And if that can be true by the time you're 21 or 22, wowie, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these actors, you know, theater is very small and we all have to gig a lot. So a lot of these actors you're working with are also directors, are also producers, are also casting directors and choreographers. So to get that kind of network early on is just terrific.
Yeah. And along with that, we also have a professional orientation class because we want our students to be thinking by their junior and senior year that they are going to be self-employed. They're not going to be unemployed, and to give them skills about how to do that. We also have an internship that is required so that, once again, you're embedding yourself into a professional theater company so that you can just see how they slice the bread. How do they make things work? And then we have a senior showcase. Of course, the last 2 years, it's been virtual,
right.
but typically we go to New York. We've gone to LA a couple of years. It really depends on the students and where their primary interests are.
Sure. Okay. I sort of am stuck on the professional orientation class. My agent had long complained to me. He was like, colleges need a class about not just how to act, but how to be an actor, how to live as an actor. And this is the first time that I'm really hearing about it offered at the college level. I think it's so, so, so important. Also, I'm stealing your phrase about self-employed, not unemployed.
Yeah, because Drew, when we went to school, they just said, "Get out, go do it," and we had no skills.
Right. Hi, do you want to represent me for acting? And you're like, we don't know what we're doing. One of the hot things also that students, you know, who now luckily feel more empowered to speak up, you know, ask me about are, I want to feel comfortable where I am in terms of maybe I'm trans or I'm non-binary, or maybe I'm going to Colorado and I'm Black. Is that going to be weird because I think of Colorado as a white state? Or maybe like I'm a dancer and I'm I'm heavy. Will they still see my like all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Can you talk about inclusion and diversity within the department?
We currently have some trans and non-binary students, and I have to say that our voice faculty have really just taken this incredibly seriously because doing vocal training for a trans or non-binary person is different than a cisgendered person. And so they're taking this very, very seriously. And so I feel really good about not only just saying, but I feel like we're walking the talk. We are providing those avenues in there. I will also say that even probably 10 years ago, our dance program really got away from body shaming because, as you know, dance programs can be not a healthy place emotionally for different physical types. And so our dance program has really done a 180 in terms of taking all kinds of bodies, whether they're same abled or differently abled.
Cool.
And really making, once again, walking the talk, not just doing lip service.
I love this. Y'all, for those of you who are watching live or watching the replay, I cannot urge you enough to check out this university because it's not often that you get professional grade training with a sense of inclusivity that's of the same importance as the training. I feel like Boulder is sort of at the forefront along with like Caitlin Hopkins at Texas State, in terms of like programs that are forging this new path for us, I hope, of like inclusion and empathy and professional strength training. Okay, let's talk about the thing that all the parents are waiting to hear, cost and financial aid. Is our need-based scholarships available, talent-based, merit-based? Talk to me about everything.
All of the above. We have some scholarships that are housed just within the College of Music, some that are housed just within the Department of Theater and Dance, but I really encourage students and their parents to fill out that FAFSA national form, because there are a lot of scholarships that are not specified to musical theater that the student might be eligible for because they're in California, they're in Texas. And so I really encourage parents to fill out that form. I know it's long and tedious, but the student may be eligible for things that I don't even know about.
Yeah, right. Okay, great. Do you know if the university offers like merit-based scholarships for like your GPA and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, they do. Yeah.
Yay, everybody! This is not everybody does this. Okay, right. You know, the Cal States and the UCs, sadly, they don't do this, which is such a shame. But we have a state school here that does it. Yo, you are sleeping on this program. What have I not addressed that students and parents should know?
You know, I would say, and once again, I feel like we walk the talk. We really try to be humane. We do not do what I call Nazi theater, Nazi musical theater. Yes. It's not my style. It's not my colleague's style, and we don't feel like that's a healthy way to learn, and it's not a healthy way to make art. So I really feel like, and we've had transfer students come because they checked us out and were coming from an abusive program, and we're like, I don't want to, if I stay there, I'm going to leave theater because it's horrible. And we don't. Absolutely. We don't want to create that kind of atmosphere.
I love that. I'm so happy to hear that. There's been, so many people my age, I'm almost 40, who graduated from college, in the early 2000s. And then by the time they graduated, they were like, oh, theater is mean and it's sad and it's cold. And it's so nice to see students who are graduating now being like, my theater program propped me up. It's that whole tear you down to build you up. And now we're just building you up, which is great.
Yeah.
Breaking you of bad habits, like don't be late, memorize your lines, but this is already a tough business. Being a professional artist who's running your own business is already tough. It doesn't need to be harder.
No, exactly. I go by the old Donna McKechnie quote, next to boxing and prostitution, theater is right up there. So it's already hard. We do not need to make it abusive.
That's it. So if you're just joining the live or you're watching the recap, unbelievable triple threat training that is going to meet you on your level when you first arrive. So we're not going to put you in dance 3 if you have like no dance experience, but it will be a challenging program that is encouraging and empathetic, inclusion at all levels, and you're working with some of the finest artists in the world at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival that lasts all summer. Scholarships out the wazoo. Y'all, this is just great. But before I let you go, I want to remind audiences, students and parents, if you have not yet signed up for the summer intensive, we are offering 20% off through the middle of this month, May 15th. We got 9 colleges coming at you in Southern California. Jessica Vosk is going to be there doing a masterclass. We got some of my Broadway pals who are going to be a surprise for when you get there, are going to be joining us. Financial aid, Shakespeare prep, all kinds of awesome stuff. So message me if you want more information or you want to be let into the CAP parent support group where we help each other out and erase the anxiety. It's the opposite of College Confidential, where instead you just get straight answers. But I can't thank you enough for joining me. And like, I will be spreading the gospel of CU Boulder to everybody.
Well, thank you, Drew. I really appreciate your time. And parents and students, if you have any questions, email address is super easy, bud.coleman@colorado.edu. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you, Drew.
Bye.